Hey everyone, Tapdog here with Little Alchemist Helper. I am on the road, so I don't have my camera set up right now, but we got an update and I wanted to talk about it with you guys. So I'm just going to kind of go through all the details here and explain it to you and then show you it in game. So, first thing we have right here is an update, and it says, "Hey Alchemists, with all players now on the newest release and the arena season just restarting this morning, they've done some updates to the fusion powers, and so should be live in your game now. If it's not, you might need to force close your app and restart it. But the reasoning behind this is that they continue to grow and expand Little Alchemist. They want to ensure the game feels fresh and alive. So in this vein, they've made some updates to the existing fusion powers to, one, clarify how they work and are described in the game, and two, to adjust how certain fusion powers work. So here are the changes that they've made. We'll start with the wording changes, because these aren't that big of a deal, but it's just to make a clarification. So previously, the game used to just say, here is a bonus, or it doubles your attack. And now they've just clarified it to understand the difference between a base attack and the bonus attack. So for Critical Strike, there's no change to how this works. It just says add bonus attack based on your card's base attack. So again, Sniper being 36 as its base attack at level 5, when it gets doubled, it adds a bonus that's based on that. So it adds an extra 36 to that. Same idea with Curse. The enemy's card base attack is removed, so it does not remove the bonus attack as well. So when you have a Critical Strike versus a Curse, the bonus value is still added, so you'd still have the 36, but you would lose the 36 that was the base. You'll keep the 36 that's the bonus from that Sniper. And that's just trying to make it clarified that it doesn't remove both the bonus and the base for a Curse, it just removes the base. Protection, it adds a bonus defense based on your card's base defense. Again, if you have a 36 defense base, it would double to 72 using that. Amplify, which is the lower quality version of Critical Strike, so it adds a bonus attack based on half of your card's base attack. So if your card's base attack was 36, instead of adding another 36, it would add an extra 18, because it adds a bonus based on half of your card's base attack. Same thing for Block. On the reverse side, add bonus defense based on your card's base defense. So again, if your base defense at level 5 was 36, instead of doubling it to 36 more, it would add an extra 18. And then Weaken, which is the lower quality version of Curse, the enemy card's base attack is halved. So if 36 was your base attack, it would make that an 18, but you would still potentially get your 36 bonus if you were doing a Critical Strike. So they have examples down here. The current wording on several powers seems straightforward enough. For instance, Critical Strike currently says double your card's attack, and Curse says your enemy card attack is removed. But most new players would assume that Curse would completely negate the attack from the Critical Strike card, but some of the attack still goes through. This is because a Critical Strike is actually adding a bonus attack, and Curse only affects the base attack value. So that's why they're making this change to the wording. Makes sense. Let's move on to the actual more important changes, functional changes here. We'll talk about Absorb and Siphon. This is the one I'm going to spend most of my time on in game. So Absorb, previously, you would heal yourself for all the damage you deal that turn. So if you had a really high attacking Absorb card and you ended up doing 10 damage to your opponent, 10 damage would come back, or 10 would heal you. So it'd be like a net 20, right? You dealt 10 damage and then you healed 20. Or you healed 10, I'm sorry. Now, the new change is you heal yourself for the attack value of your card. So if your attack value is 32, you did 10 damage, you're also going to heal back 32. So instead of doing a 20-point change in damage, it is now, that would be a 42-point change. So that's a huge buff for Absorb. It's going to make it actually usable in a number of ways. But previously, Absorb stated heal yourself for all the damage you deal this turn, but only healed for damage dealt to the opponent after their defense was done. In practice, the healing provided was insufficient compared to the damage output of attack-focused fusion powers. So with this change, Absorb's received a 2x plus increase in the amount being healed. Additionally, Absorb cards that aren't heavily attack-focused will still be able to provide some healing while being defensive. Curse, however, will still negate the healing, so that is the counter to an Absorb card now as a Curse, because it would remove all the attack, so you don't get to heal. And then same thing for Siphon, the lower quality version of Absorb. It's just half the damage you deal this turn would have been reflected back. So again, if you had done 10, you would have healed back 5. But now, if you had 32 as your attack, you would heal for 16. So again, that's a 3 times improvement for that specific example. So that's a great change. We also had a little bit of a change on Crushing Blow, which will help it against protection. So previously, it said the enemy card's defense is completely ignored. And now the new change, the enemy card's defense is removed. So previously, Crushing Blow was viable for early in a player's progression, but its damage output scaled poorly compared to other powers. So the ideal use case would be against cards with high defense, like protection cards. However, when a protection card goes against a Crushing Blow card, they basically scratch out because the protection card still gets its defense doubled. But now, that doesn't happen anymore. So Crushing Blow will negate both the base and the bonus defense of a protection card going forward. So that kind of gives a nice little balance between Crushing Blow and protection. So if you use protection cards like in a Lobo Stall deck, now we can actually do damage to you. And that's kind of a nice little balance for those two, because Lobo didn't really have a counter previously. Same thing with Pierce, the lower quality version of Crushing Blow. Just instead of doing half of the enemy card's defense before boosts, it's now the total, it would be half of that. So again, if you had a card with 32 Crushing Blow attack, it will actually, for the full one, it will do all 32 damage regardless, but for the Pierce version, it would do 16 regardless. And then 2 little last changes, unchanged, no wording or functionality changes happen to counterattack or reflect at this time. They're still the same as is. And this interesting little ending part was these changes lay the groundwork for future updates as we continue to evolve Little Alchemist gameplay. In the meantime, we'll be monitoring the impact of these changes in Arena and Heroics, and we'll make adjustments as needed. So basically that means if you find out there's a big loophole here, it's just not working, or it breaks the game in some way, they are going to get rid of it. But I think that these changes are going to be good overall. Now, practically speaking, what does this mean for you? What does this mean for the game? Well, Absorb got a huge buff, and in the short term, that's going to make Heroics both easier and harder, because now when your opponents use an Absorb, you don't get a free turn, because they will be healing back whatever they've done damage-wise, or whatever their attack base was. So it could potentially make those battles last a little bit longer. However, conversely, it's going to make being able to get your health up that much faster. I was talking to some people on the Discord server, and I said, right now, it could be anywhere between 1 boss up to potentially 10 bosses to get 30 health, just if you have a bad run. Now with this change, with 1 card, you can get 30 health immediately and switch back to Master Elementalist. So you'll be able to stay in Master Elementalist longer, which means you'll be able to beat bosses faster, hopefully. I'm sure a little bit of that will be nerfed with absorbs from the bosses themselves, but overall I think it's going to be a net positive gain for Heroics. It'll make it faster, which is always wanted and needed. But yeah, so let's look at that and see how these work. I set up just a random, it was an autofill deck, so I don't even know how good this deck is going to end up being, but yeah, it's got all sorts of random cards in it, and this was an autofill one that I hadn't even touched. I just wanted to put my absorb cards in here, so this might end up being a really bad deck, but that's okay. I just wanted to show you how it worked in story mode here. And I might still kill the boss quickly, unfortunately. We'll see. I'm going to try my best to do like defensively focused combos so I can use this absorb ability and kind of show it to you. That's a 30. Over here. Well, either of those hopefully don't die. Oh gosh. This is going to be the struggle, being able to... I liked this deck because it had the gold cards in it, but alright. Maybe I'll do some arena battles or something, I don't know. I won't even be able to do arena battles. I haven't done my arena battles yet for this season. Okay, low quality combos. Let's see if we can get this going. 29, that might be my bet. Oh, 16, there we go. See, even with that, I still did a bunch of damage. That's just silly to me. Okay, 34, 23, there you go. Hey, I'll actually be able to do it. Okay, so when I use this card right now, I will get an additional 33 added to my health. So that would make me go from 38 up to, what is that, 71. Granted, she's on Elementalist, so I might drop a little bit less than that. But that's huge, huge. I'm going to get 33 health from this, and I'll be dealing damage to her, too. Okay, so she didn't do anything. So, boom, I get my health now. Oh, of course you can't see it because it went so fast. But the point is, you're getting a huge, huge buff there. So primarily, it's going to help you and benefit you in heroics, because you'll be able to get your health up faster and be able to be on Master Elementalist for longer. You might even be able just to stay on Master Elementalist the whole time if you make the right deck. I'll see if I can do this one more time, but I think because she's at such a low level right now, it's kind of hard to be able to see the impact on this. And I'm going to keep killing her accidentally here. Those are 29s. Yeah, I don't trust myself here, but we'll see. Yep. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. She's on her lower level. But the point is, it's going to be really helpful there. But the other place it's going to be helpful is it's actually going to be a huge nerf or a good counter for Tiebreaker in the arena with your away deck. So here is my away deck right now. Let me just show you my cards that are in here. So I use boss cards because they have the highest stats, and I use the kitchen sink. So I've got 2 curse cards, Albert and Vera there. I have 2 Annas in here because she's a nice tanky critical strike. Leopold, oh, I just dropped a Leopold. I'll get him back in here. I have a Leopold for a nice high defense, but still being able to do a crushing blow. Mr. Pym for if they use a critical strike, it reflects it back to them. And then now I have a Lucy in here, which would heal me for 32. Reset that. Let me get my Leopold back. There we go. Okay. So the thing that's going to make this helpful, though, is you can actually make a deck that's curses and heals now. So using absorbs, using curses like Albert and Lucy and Xanthar. You can use a Master Elementalist deck, so you're getting your opponent's health down, and then right when they think they're going to be able to deal damage to you, you pull out your healing, and you get an extra 30 health, and you deal some damage to them. Or you curse them, and they aren't able to use. So that's going to be a nice little change here, is having a half your cards as curse, half of them absorb in your away deck, as another way to counter Tiebreaker. So, anywho, that's it on the change. Just wanted to kind of go over that with you guys. Be mindful of people who are going to be using Master Elementalist this season, because it's going to be a little bit trickier. But yeah, that being said, I do hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I hope to talk with you again soon.